do we got here? Oh, there's one right there. Right there. Oh, well, I guess that'll do. That'll have to do.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Jeez. Oh, the little things, man. Sometimes the little things
Yeah.
are such a pain in the ass. So, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, man. Welcome back, Jeffrey. Happy to have you on here again. And I just, like we were just talking about, man, I seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, man, and wow, it was as great as I thought it was. It was way better than I thought. Actually, it was so much better than what I thought it was, and I knew it was going to be great. But I'm just so happy now, that critics and fans alike, no more of this bullshit about Zack can't tell a cohesive story. No, stay the hell out of his way and let him tell the story that he's trying to tell. All that re-editing, reshooting, and reworking shit, that's what messes up the creative vision.
Yeah.
And clearly you can tell that it was a big, big fucking mistake. Them getting involved and spending all this money to essentially create an entirely different movie out of something that was already shot. And it wasn't even better. It was fucking terrible. It was a bastard adaptation. And it was just, wow. But that's not what I'm here for. I want to talk to you guys about this article that's popping up everywhere in the newsfeed that's got me really fucking pissed off right now. And a while back, me and Jeffrey, as part of the RT Snyder Cut campaign that we've been a part of for a long time. There's some of the OG members. There's many other OG members, but we've been at it for a while. And I remember back when me and Jeffrey were doing this letter campaign and Sarnoff. And after so long had went by, and we didn't get no response from her. There wasn't even a little simple PR thing put out like, she got them, but, she just don't want to engage or any kind of PR bullshit they could have put out. The fact that it seemed that this stuff essentially just, and she was so radio silence. I think she even left social media, that or she kept all of her accounts to private or something. I can't remember. But I always thought, I'm like, I don't think that I think that we're wasting our time with her. I mean, so many fans drew pictures and wrote about their life story and about how they relate to what happened to Zack and that they're good people and this is where they're from, this is what they're about, took pictures of themselves and their family and just sent in these heart-filled, and hundreds of thousands of people did this shit. And she didn't have a single thing to say. She didn't have a single thing to say. And I told Jeffrey and a couple of the other guys back then, I said, Jeffrey, you're frozen.
Really?
Yeah, your picture, your audio's good, but your picture is frozen solid.
Man. I'll leave him and get back on.
All right. And, I told him then, I think that they hired Ann Sarnoff because you got to think about who hired her in there. The same assholes that helped destroy and dismantle their own IP from the inside out. You got to be just insane. And I can't believe now that all of this shit has came out in the open, that these people are still employed there. I really can't. I really can't. I can't believe it. And the fact that Zack Snyder's Justice League is just as of right now, from what I can tell, what everybody can tell, from what's being reported, this thing is crushing it. It's absolutely killing it. This thing, financially so far, is doing fucking fantastic. The word of mouth, people don't understand how far the word of mouth is. Hold on, Jeffrey, I got to get you back on there again now. I don't remember. What did I do last time? Oh, geez. But yeah, the word of mouth, though, is just so fantastic on this movie. Why would they drop an article? Why would Ann Sarnoff take an interview this early on after the movie releases to say this bullshit out of her mouth? Can you shut the freak up and let the fans have their day? Let Zack have his day. Let the actors, cast, and crew have their day. come on, man. Like it
Right,
isn't even.
because really, like, say what you will about Kevin Feige and the MCU, like Kevin Feige actually knows how to do an interview properly because he doesn't just outright say, "Oh, we're not gonna be doing this for get like." Let's say that, for example, he was talking about Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers Endgame didn't come out. He
Right.
wouldn't have said, "Oh, don't forget about Avengers Infinity War Part 2 or whatever. We're not doing that anymore." He would have said, "Oh, you know what? It might be possible, it might not. We'll see what happens." He didn't he like even in his most recent
Right.
interview.
Even if she was lying, she could have still just said, "Oh well, you never know," or anything. Like this is still your. This is what trips me out. We already know these assholes are not the reason why we got this. AT&T and HBO Max and Jason Keelar are the reason why we got the Snyder Cut. Okay, got it released. Okay.
Yep.
Now, either way, though, the thing is, though, I don't understand how they are still very much Warner Brothers. Okay, Warner
Mm-hmm.
Media, all of it. They're all the same company. I just don't understand how anybody at Warner Brothers. I don't understand how AT&T ain't mad as hell right now that they would come out when they just dropped how many millions of dollars into this movie and it's crushing it. And it hasn't even,
Right.
and they're making all their money back like right now. But it's like
Yep.
they're still in the money making process. You can't shut the hell up to make your own money back. Like, are you trying to destroy your own property before you even get all the money back from it? Like, to me, it doesn't matter what they think of Zack Snyder. It doesn't matter if they disagree with the Snyderverse and they don't like it, or even if they think that the fandom is, oh, it's toxic and all this bullshit again that they're trying to run with. Jesus Christ. But it's just stupid from a business perspective to open your mouth and say that kind of dumbass shit right after the movie comes out.
Right, and really, like, just think about it like this for a second. Like, it's been a whole weekend, and what's going on right now is Zack Snyder's Justice League is breaking records right now as we speak in multiple countries. And not only that, this was actually, like, it's not officially confirmed, but this is actually from a Hollywood analytics person when it came down to, like, who got the best debut numbers over the weekend between Zack Snyder's Justice League and the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, we already have you saw that we already have the numbers for we already have the numbers for Hugh Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is like 1.7 million. And what the analytics person said is that as of right now, from what he's heard and from what he's gathered, and this is a analytics person from the Hollywood Reporter. He hasn't actually put an article out about it. He said that as of right now, from what he's gathered, Zack Snyder's Justice League has got 1.8 million views on HBO Max alone.
On HBO Max alone.
Yep. So
wow.
and it's just really stupid from a business point, like you said. It's like they have billions of dollars on the floor, and whether it be pride or stubbornness, they're just not picking it up. And knowing that AT&T, a lot of people forget about this. AT&T are still in debt, so if I'm looking at AT&T, my goal is to get out of it being in debt. I'm looking at WB and I'm like, yo, you better fix this or we're gonna change
clean
things
house.
around.
We're gonna clean house.
Yeah.
Which is what needs to be done. And and I'm not even going to go into that right this second. I just want to read a little bit of this real quick for the people that missed it. What's being reported, I'm sure everybody knows, but anyway, Warner Media's and Sarnoff on Zack Snyder's Justice League and DC's future. Just the timing of this whole article, this is suspect as shit. The whole, just the timing of this and what is being said, you can sit there, oh, we're so glad that his vision was fully, that PR bullshit. But then if you read what she says before it and after it, clearly you're walking the corporate line and you're saying a lot of negative shit while trying to keep a smile on your face. You're another puppet. WB has hired her to be another puppet, and Anna Sarnoff is going to be their new mouthpiece. Okay. So Warner Media Studio CEO and Sarnoff says that Zack Snyder's Justice League will complete the director's superhero trilogy, knowing damn well it wasn't a trilogy, it was a 5-film arc. There was 2 films. Get out of here with this bullshit. Okay. Reinforcing the studio's desire to move past the social media campaign to hand back control of the DC film universe to the filmmaker. Instead, Sarnoff believes that the future of DC is more than just movies. She's excited about a multi-platform future, one that sees Batman, Superman, Flash, and other League members popping up on streaming shows, video games, television spin-offs, big screen outings. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let me be clear real quick, people. Right. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay, but read the corporate line that she's towing and walking, okay? Right. Everybody knows that nobody has a problem with that. Everybody would like that, okay? It's a vision that echoes what Marvel has been doing with its Avengers characters. Right there. That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. And right there. This is how we got into this mess in the first place. Just that kind of thinking and that kind of bullshit, man.
And that really goes back to what Zach said, and I think it was Vanity Fair. He said that he was the only one in the studio that was going on about how you really can't copy Marvel. They have to do their own thing. And really, as someone who actually was a kid during the MCU's beginning. Like, I actually was a kid during Iron Man 1. Like, the MCU, they do their thing, but it's like when you try to copy them, it's like it's going to be kind of like a cookie cutter if you even try to compare it, because really, like, that's really kind of like the thing about the MCU. The MCU has that action comedy thing down, and that's really
right. And that's their thing, and they do. Nobody can do, and that's might not be my cup of tea. I watch all of them. I like Marvel too. Not like I like DC, but I like, diversity. Give the people a little bit of everything. That's fine. But nobody is going to do their formula like they do. And if you keep trying to do exactly what they're doing, you're always going to be 2 steps behind them, looking like a cheap knockoff that showed up too little and too late to the party. And I'm so sick of DC being that. Anyway. So right here. But then whoever, like the people that write these articles, it's very clear that these people are assholes and they don't like Snyder and they don't like his fan base. And the fan base is so huge now that it's not even just diehards anymore. Right. It ain't a cul-de-sac. Like the fan base, they can, it trips me out because there's so many huge fan bases for Marvel, for Star Wars, for Disney, for DC, for this, for that. So I don't understand why this fan base keeps getting singled the freak out. And then they have the nerve to bring up something about a death threat in here. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
And really, let's talk about this real quick, because I think this really needs to be addressed. Post the Snyder Cut being being released in HBO Max and all of these other streaming services, and not counting today. But Zack Snyder's, let's count today actually. And Zack Snyder's Justice League and hashtag Restore the Snyderverse have both trended
Yep.
six, like 5, 6 days in a row.
Yes.
Which I keep hearing from
that's huge.
people.
And they're intimidated by this shit. And the timing of this article and this interview from Sarnoff is suspect as fuck. They're scared and they're pissed off that Restore the Snyderverse keeps trending and that this movie is doing so freaking well.
Yep, because really, like, that's the thing. Like, even like this is how shocking it was for us Snyder fans. Like, we were actually prepared for people to actually hate it. Like, we were actually prepared for people to hate it. But when it was being loved by fans and critics, like, it was a surprise to us and we welcomed it. And really, like, that's the thing. Like once again, like, we were surprised by it. And if the majority of the Snyder fandom is toxic, we would have said, "Oh, you're faking, yada yada yada. You're fakers, yada yada. You're just hopping on a bandwagon and all that." Like,
right.
No, we actually opened up that surprise with open arms. Like, hey, come on in. The water's fine.
Exactly. And yes, exactly. And that's something that doesn't get spoke about because they don't want to. Just like all the good that came from it. How much money has the Snyder fandom raised in support of AFSP?
About
AFSP.
about 600,000 now.
Right, and still going. And then you've got actors like Ray Fisher and Ray Porter coming out, supporting the merchandise, doing live streams and having people donate thousands of dollars to AFSP just for him to do the dark side voice. For a good cause, giving the fans what they want, but also doing it for a good cause, a perfect balance, which everybody is in support of. But you don't hear them talk about that often. They just are, they just want to control things, you know what I mean? And they're scared at what they don't understand. They're scared if they feel like they don't have control. And they do any dirty little trick that they think that they can do to try to water down something, throw smoke on gasoline on a fire, or throw water on smoke. Whatever way you want to call it. But right here, though, you can tell by the questions this guy's asking that he's a real asshead. He's a real asshat. But he said, why did you decide to release the Zack Snyder's Justice League? We wanted to give Zack the opportunity to complete his vision in a 4-hour movie, which is impossible to do in theaters. First of all, Sarnoff, you assholes over there at Warner Brothers didn't give Zack the opportunity. You robbed him of it from the get-go. You refused to do it, and it was only AT&T and HBO Max that made it possible against your guys' will, against your wishes. So don't sit there and try to lie to the fans and to the people, okay?
Right.
Second of all, it's incorrect of her to say that his 4-hour movie would be impossible to do in theaters. You know how many movies? Dude, Endgame was over 3 hours long.
Right.
Titanic. You know how many movies came out in theaters that were long as hell?
Yep. And really, like, this is the thing. Like, this is, and really to kill the whole, because I know people are going to use it as, oh, those were the times it used to be and all that. This is actually something that I've actually been doing for a while. And I've actually been calling the theater managers here in Texas, and they're saying that, and I'm actually talking to the managers, and they're saying that they're all saying the same thing, that they want Zack Snyder's Justice League to be put out into theaters, but Warner Brothers is telling them no.
Oh, yeah, because they want to cul-de-sac it as much as possible, which I'm going to get to, because she says something in this article that really lets you know that when Zack said that, and when Ray Fisher said that, and who else? I can't remember. who else said it, but it was in a couple of articles that you could tell that they were telling the truth. When they say, what are your plans going forward with DC? Ann Sarnoff says, we've got an incredible group of creators, television series creators, Max series creators, feature film creators who are basically broadening the base of the talent that we work with on DC because we're so excited about the potential to build up our DC multiverse. It's one of the reasons why I was hired in almost 2 years ago. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Ann. Shut up.
And
then
really,
she's going to say, go ahead.
And really, like, right there, like, when she says multiverse, it's like, let's just say that you're using this multiverse, right? Like, let's just say that you're wholeheartedly doing the multiverse. Like, that's the thing about hashtag restore the Snyderverse. It's its own film universe. And you're saying that with you using the multiverse as you claim to be, you're not using the multiverse to it. Which, let's just be fair, Zach really introduced it first to really get into it because let's remember, Zack Snyder's Justice League was supposed to come out in 2017. So in a way, like, Zach gave you a way out either way so that you can continue the Snyderverse, but then you're like,
right.
but then you're like, but then you're like, you know what? I know we're using the multiverse, but for some reason your multiverse just doesn't make the cut. Sorry. Like, you know how stupid that sounds?
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to say, it says this article's by Brent Lang. Is that who did this interview with Ann Sarnoff?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
now is this the one that all the trades are running with right now by Brent Lang? I just gotta say to Brent Lang, that person's an asshole.
Yeah, and he actually gave an update. Apparently, Ray Fisher he apparently found out that Ray Fisher's NDA is now gone. So, and now, like, right now, he's kind of like a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. And we know what Ray has been saying with the NDA. So really, like, with what he's gonna say without the NDA off, with the leash off, like, that's really gonna be interesting because because really, like, I can tell you right now, this summer, like, this whole summer, as we're getting into it with April, May, and then going into the summer months, like, it's really going to be a cruel summer for, pun not intended, for Cobra Kai fans, but it's really going to be a cruel summer for WB, like, right now.
And so this is the point I wanted to get to, Jeffrey. The Snyder Cut came out because of a fan campaign online. Do you feel like you need to strike a balance between being responsive to fans? How about being responsive to critics? Responsive to fans and charting your own course as a company? How responsive do you believe DC should be? We're always going to listen to our fans, but we are in service of the broadest of fan base. Okay, well, you know what fan base that is, baby.
Because really, like, once again, like, because really, like, once again, Zack Snyder's Justice League is breaking they're breaking country records in 24 hours over the weekend. So it's like the broader audience is kind of like Snyder fans in general, and it's been trending for almost the entire week now. So it's like, you don't even need to do the math on that. Like, all you need to do is look at what's trending daily to see who's the broader audience. because this is how fast it was. Like I actually woke up at 6. I actually tweeted this out. Like I was actually shocked when I woke up and I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League and hashtag restore the Snyderverse trending at 6:18 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, like that was really eye opening to me.
But yeah, and then down here, will there be more director's cuts? Will we see David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad being released? We won't be developing David Ayer's cut. First of all, developing it's already done.
Yeah,
Needs some VFX work. You know, definitely is going to cost money to finish, but not nowhere near a giant 4-hour Justice League movie with the pantheon of the most gangster and strongest characters in DC's, arsenal.
Yeah,
so she right there tells me she don't really know what the hell she's talking about, or even what the Ayer cut is, because these people at Warner Brothers don't care. They got their heads up their ass.
Yeah, because really, that's the thing. Like David actually confirmed it himself. He said that the Ayer cut is like 95% done. Just need to get a few visual effects done.
Right, exactly. And and the thing is, to me, is like, she keeps reiterating in here how her ass hats over at Warner Brothers are so excited to show us what the future holds, and we're so happy. Now we're so happy that you guys had us in a stranglehold and we were forced to release it. We're so happy you got to see this, but we're gonna move on to the future, and we don't care about restore the Snyderverse, and we're not going to be developing David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad. And it's like, I'm all for having a diverse slates of movies and TV shows. We are all for that. But the thing is, though, you got to right the wrongs of the past before you start talking like that, and before you can expect your largest and overall fan base to come with you on that journey, because you have not made things right until you release the Ayer cut, okay? For one,
right?
Because you got to right the wrongs of the past,
right? And that's really the thing right there that I like that you mentioned, like the diverse movie set that DC has, because it's like, because really, like, other than the Snyderverse movies that people think that I'm a huge fanboy over, which I'm not saying I am not, but I am. But that's besides the point. Like, I'm actually looking forward to stuff that's actually outside of the Snyderverse, like Aquaman 2 and Shazam, Gods of the Fury of the Gods, and even Black Adam. So there's like a few movies outside the Snyderverse that I, as a Snyder fan, am actually looking forward to seeing, because
Black Adam for me is a big one. But see, and even Black Adam, though, The Rock, he wants his shit to have to do with the Snyderverse. He is so adamant about reiterating over and over and over. He wants the Snyderverse's Henry Cavill version of Superman to show up in his movie, and he wants to go at it hand to hand with him.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, he's not in complete control. He has a good, amount of pull, though. But these assholes at WB, ultimately, they have the say-so over that, if that's going to happen or not. And just like, it doesn't, I would say Shazam, but I'm never going to bring that up. But, ultimately, I just think that it's so stupid that they would come out and then say that, we're not going to continue the Snyderverse. No, we're not going to do a David, like, to just flat out be so bold. They could hit us with, she could have hit us with a regular bullshit PR move. Well, you never know. Or you never know what the future may hold. Who knows? Anything can happen, right? This is proof of that.
Yeah, because
any kind of PR to just kind of dodge and leave the question. She was bold enough to say this shit though, and what pisses me off is they did not release the Snyder Cut. Okay, they were not. It wasn't their decision. If it was up to them, this wouldn't have happened. So ignore what these people are saying. It is up to AT&T, their bosses, and HBO Max to continue the Snyderverse, and also possibly even release the Ayer cut.
Right, and that's really the thing that, like let's really think about this for a second. Out of everything that has come out, typically, I wouldn't have thought of it as much. I think, I really wouldn't have thought about it as much if this article came out, if she said this maybe a few weeks or next month or something, until after the numbers came out. But then again, but I just really think that it's really suspicious that the HBO Max numbers that a lot of people were looking forward to seeing today, those HBO Max numbers didn't come out. Those HBO Max numbers didn't come out officially at all. And then it's just this immediate hit piece, like a big middle finger to the fans, you know what? We do. It's hey, we do appreciate you, the fans of it. Hey, you know what? We got the Snyder Cut done, but you know what? Just F off. That's exactly what it means. It's like someone saying, giving you your money and then giving you the middle finger right in front of you and laughing.
Yeah, I just think that, like I said, and maybe I'm reading into it a little. And there's a comment right to this one real quick. Right here by the Movie Raider. Sorry, guys. He said, I replied to one of your recent tweets, and Sarnoff does not know what the Ayer cut is, so disregard her comments on that. And this is what I got to say. I'm sure she has a pretty good idea of what the Ayer cut is, because Snyder cut, Ayer cut, Snyder cut, Ayer cut. What was the Snyder cut? Yeah, they were all ignorant before, but then now that it's out and all the information before it came out, after they said it was going to come out, during the wait for it to be released, they know damn well what the Snyder cut was and what state it was in, and that it needed visual effects, and that they had it the whole time, and that it was too dark, and that they didn't want that shit released, okay? And that's why we got that bullshit in theater. So Ann Sarnoff, what she is she is just a talking mouthpiece. No, she isn't the one probably really calling the big shots, but she was hired to be the one to blab the mouth, to blab at the mouth and feed, to do interviews like this. In the last year and a half, they've been doing nothing but teaching her and brainwashing her and teaching her how to evade the public and how to go against the things that they take as a threat, which is usually, which if you're Warner Brothers, which is their own fandom. So, and then, they start talking about the toxicity and death threats and all this shit. And this fan base is so huge, but you don't hear them talking about that when it comes to Marvel or Disney or any of the other fan bases that are huge. Actually, Star Wars. But they fixated a lot with the Snyder fan base. Despite all the money they've raised.
Yeah, but to blame, I had to that's really the thing. That's really the thing. For Star Wars fandom, and the Marvel fans, I actually do know about how bad they are, because and I'm not doing this to have a kind of a measuring contest with them, but it's if he it's okay if you were to talk about the toxicity in general.
Yeah, but there is some toxicity in the fandom. In all fandoms, though, there is.
Yeah, because really, that's really the thing. People say that, I've actually seen some people in the Snyder Cut movement talking about resort #Zack Snyder's Justice League release the Snyder Cut, where like I'm gonna actually give you a good example of what this community is like as a whole. Like I actually remember this when WB was giving a tribute to Kobe Bryant, where when him and his daughter passed away in that helicopter crash, and they posted like a water silo in purple, and there was kind of like a mural to Kobe Bryant and his daughter, and some jerk had just tweeted hashtag release the Snyder cut. And I remember that a lot of people in the Snyder movement, they told that person delete this, and we basically kind of disowned that person being for for being a jerk in
Yeah,
that
that's not
incident.
right. Yeah, that's not right.
So it's like, it's like for people who say that, oh, they're blind to their own toxicity, like, no, we actually do see some of these people that are actually toxic in our movement, and we really kind of disown them in the
Right.
sense, like, we actually do go out of our way to block him and say, delete this man, delete this, and stuff
Right.
like that.
But
So,
see, I guess which very true, Jeffrey. Good point. But I guess the point is that I'm making is, it doesn't get this kind of attention though. With the,
yeah.
you don't see them writing articles about a random toxic Marvel fan, or a random toxic Star Wars fan, or a random toxic Alita fan. I'm not saying that they are toxic, or that or that they're not. I'm just saying you don't see them writing articles about this shit, like, and talking about it all. Like, it's one mother freaker or one or two bad eggs get so infamous that they're just like article. They're all shit. They're all toxic. Oh my god! Like, it just you don't see that though, and that's my point. That's my point. So either there's a clear bias, or B, this fan base is so large and makes so many waves that they have to talk about it all the time. Period. And that's the only thing that it could be. And I some days I'm here or there with it. But let me jump into these comments again real quick, because we gotta wrap this up soon. The movie Raider, AT Flame, do you think that Jason Kilar is going to hit and start off with a surprise attack by saying something like, no decision, quote unquote, no decision on the Snyderverse continuation has been made at this time, and then announce Zack Snyder's Justice League next week, number 2.
You know what? That'd be awesome.
That'd be hilarious.
Or no, the next day it's like Jason Kilar actually saying, like, we know that Sarnoff said this, but plans have changed.
Right. Anything's possible. I just want, I got pissed off and I just want everybody to know, though, stay optimistic, stay fighting, stay trending, stay good, though. Don't be toxic. Don't feed into this shit that they're trying to label everybody as. For those that have stayed independent, stay independent. For those of you that have fought alongside us, stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Keep fighting this noble fight together, because it's not over yet. And I would argue, until David, flat out, until David Ayer's Suicide Squad is released, this battle is not over, because they have not righted the wrongs that they did. Why would we trust anything that they say they're going to do, that they want us to get excited for? When they did that to us before, we got excited. They lied to us. They tricked us. Then they made us look crazy. It doesn't exist. And then then they started writing articles. They're toxic. We can't control them. And and now they're just sour, looking stupid that this shit's out, and they look so ridiculous that they destroyed a masterpiece. They destroyed a masterpiece just to push a man out of the way so that they can make DC Marvel 2.0. No, let Marvel do their own thing. They're good at doing what they're doing. DC's never going to succeed trying to do exactly what they're doing. We're always going to be secondhand regurgitated garbage if that's what they keep trying to do. Wonder Woman 84 was a product of this. Okay, you can see You can see heavy studio and Jeff Johns influence all around, and Patty Jenkins bending to their will to get in the things that she wants. See, Patty, she's trying to make it like the old school. She's trying to get it. Or what's girl's name? The old OG Wonder Woman.
Right,
Linda
and
Carter.
that's really
She's trying to get Linda Carter.
Like,
that's what it is. She's trying to get back to that OG old school Wonder Woman shit, and she's trying to get Linda Carter in there is what she's doing. So she's using this as a gateway, bro. Flat out.
Yeah, and that's really kind of like the thing if you really think about it. Like, it really does show because, let's be real, like, no disrespect to Patty Jenkins.
No disrespect to her.
But this is, like, really, no disrespect to Patty Jenkins. Like, I do get what
We're just very passionate about
like,
our properties.
Because really, like, because I really need to get this out. Like, really, no disrespect to Patty Jenkins and really the old generation. Like, that's the thing. Christopher Reeves and Linda Carter's Wonder Woman were like they really did pave the way. Like, no disrespect to them. Like, they paved the way for the future for superhero movies to this day.
There's some of the goats.
But that's the thing. Like, they need to evolve. Like, the superheroes need to evolve because it's like you're like, let's just say that you're kind of having, it's like starting with a pepperoni pizza. You're having pepperoni pizza every day. You're going to get bored of pepperoni pizza, and then you're going to be like, you know what? Maybe I'll try some olives, or maybe I'll have a supreme pizza or whatever. Like, that's the thing about being diverse. You'll never get bored because then you'll be like, oh, wow, I could watch Linda Carter's Wonder Woman on HBO Max. I can watch Gal Gadot. I can watch this current day's Wonder Woman here. I can watch Henry Cavill's Superman. I can watch Christopher Reeve's Superman. Like, that's the thing. The past really is always there for people to go back to, but a lot of times people
forward to the future, man. At some point, we cannot keep retelling the stories that are that our grandparents and that our parents and shit grew up with as a child over and over exactly as they were over and over, because when they go to the big screen, so much has to be done, and in between they are never going to be exactly that. It'll never be. And if you just keep trying to remake that, they've tried it over and over again. They tried it with Superman Returns and it didn't work. They tried it with Wonder Woman 84. It didn't work, man. They're like, it doesn't work. Okay. And it's just like they're trying so hard to from what I can tell, the formula that they want is throw shit at the wall, see what sticks. Garbage, throw that IP out for another 20 years and don't let no one touch it. Okay. And then the other thing that they do is, let's take what Marvel did. Let's take what like Linda Carter and Christopher Reeves era did, and then let's like cram them two together in a mush ball and see what we got. Throw it out there. And it's like, okay, now you've got like Wonder Woman doing all this like quirky shit and like extra smiling and like all this flying shit, like cheesy, like weird looking like shit, and then like the action is so like over the top because it's trying to be funny like Marvel, and it's like the two styles are clashing against each other, and it's just fucking ridiculous. And you know what I mean? And when they do that, they never spend enough time on the story because the story comes last to them. What they want done comes first. Telling great stories comes later. And then like something that interested me that Ann Sarnoff was saying in her article, she just kept bringing up the fact that, we're trying to be like, to get like the first superhero movie with a woman of color, that, and a man of color and a Latino, the first lead superhero Latino, and the Blue Beetle, and then Sasha Calle, the first this and that. And like, you're talking just like this Hollywood woke shit. Like, are you casting people in actors like literally for woke agendas, and then
Right,
you're gonna work the fucking
and
story around a woke agenda because you guys did that shit with Birds of Prey, and that didn't work. And also,
right,
Kathy
and
Yan said there's a Yan cut, but Kathy Yan, her movie, I'm happy she supports the Ayer cut, the Snyder cut, but Yan, she had it wrong from the get-go. And it's not even just Yan. Margot Robbie and Yan together, shit they came up with, not great. It wasn't good from the get-go.
right,
And they pandered to this bullshit, and it didn't work. Okay,
right, and that's really kind of like the thing, like that's really the thing, like Zach, like people, like let's go to Cyborg real quick because people are gonna say that Zach made Ray Fisher the eye of the
I'm
movie
sure get what car.
because really let's talk about Cyborg real quick. Like Cyborg, he wasn't treated like a kind of like this woke character in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like if you really go like even if you take off his skin color, you could like there was really no storyline with him being a black person, but it was just him being a character, and it's like, man,
but
like
true, yes, but they kept it true to his comical origin story, you know, but the story didn't have to do with, oh, look, everyone, that's a black man, and that's a black family he's from. And you know what I mean? And even if he wasn't black, you know, or that's a white man, or that's a Mexican girl, like that's not, no. It was about the story. He just happened to be Cyborg, who was a black man. It was about the story and what he went through. His origin story is what we got, a true origin story of Cyborg. And it was beautiful. And that is what you're supposed to tell great stories first, okay? Then, if you can weed that other bullshit in, fine. One, stay accurate to the character. You know what I mean? To its origin, to the root origins. Yes, there's room to adapt it, to change it. To a degree. Yes, and that's expected. Every adaptation ain't supposed to be exactly the same. Okay, but the story and the plot comes first. And that really worries me hearing Ann Sarnoff, hearing that shit come out of her mouth. Because that tells me where they're at with their agenda and what kind of bullshit they're going to try and push out on us. And I'm sure real quick, I'm okay for the Snyderverse to continue on HBO Max, and I don't give a shit about DC films in theaters. And that's where I'm at. If our entire Snyderverse has to exist on HBO Max, then baby, we're going to make HBO Max, and this fandom's going to make HBO Max and AT&T a buttload of money. And you can miss me with that other shit.
Yep. And that's really the thing, like I've actually read this article that HBO Max, because I've actually read this article about HBO Max and Netflix are wanting Zach to sign a exclusive deal with them. And right now, Zach is just kind of waiting to see what happens because so really like so really like if you really think about it, like the real streaming war that people are dubbing is really Warner Brother, is really HBO Max, and it's really like Zach is like the main prize that the streaming that HBO Max and Netflix wants. And if I'm looking at it right now from a realistic standpoint, like realistically, I'm looking at Netflix getting Zach and not HBO Max, because right now, like HBO Max right now kind of needs to get their house in order with Warner Brothers and Warner Media, because right now it's a mess there.
The movie Raider. There's a war with the Flash film. It sounds like some working on it want it to be in the Snyderverse, and some want it in the Hamadaverse.
Yes.
And worse yet, Michael Keaton now doesn't know if he still wants to be in it. Yep, I heard about that. That's jacked up, man.
I can actually confirm that, because Andy Muschietti and his sister actually confirmed that they wanted the Flash to be in the Snyderverse, but some people in the studio don't want to, because that's really the thing. Someone actually asked, like when Cyborg was actually announced, someone actually asked DM'd Andy Muschietti's sister that directly, like, and I quote, like, what continuity are you planning on using for the Flash? And they said that and she said that they were hoping to use the Snyderverse version of the Flash. So really,
Right, and
like,
you
right
seen how
now,
amazing the Flash was. He didn't run goofy. He fucking was the perfect amount of funny with quirky, and
yep,
he
and
was
that's
great. It was
and
great. He was really that was such a redemption of Ezra Miller's Flash and Cyborg. Like it was,
right,
and it was crazy.
let's really think about that for a second. The two most butchered people in Justice League are the MVPs of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, it's really insane how much you can butcher someone, and then in the original vision, you have Cyborg and the Flash being the MVPs to the plan of saving the entire world.
Yep.
Like, that's insane.
Man, and Flash, I did not expect him to be so on point. Like there was, especially when in that war tunnel scene, man, he was getting down, dude. He was like zoom, 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 boom, like doing some boom, 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 boom. He was getting down, bro. And just the way that his powers worked and the way the lightning looked was even different. Like I don't know, it was just oh man. But let's see. Right, where was it at? Okay, Manny V. But I agree, AT&T and HBO Max have the last say. Yes, they do. And AT&T is allowing that to happen, not WB. Annie here just being petty. And Sarnoff. Yep. They can't even let Zach and us fans celebrate for even 1 week before throwing out a hit piece planned way in advance. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's really suspect. The timing, it's suspect as hell, and we've been down this road before, and we know where it leads to. It's just they're trying to get people unhappy, negative. Stay positive. Keep watching that movie. Keep watching that trailer. Keep hashtagging Restore the Snyderverse. Just keep it up. And hashtag release the Ayer cut.
Yep.
Yep, and right on the movie Raiders. Stop implementing the past into the future. What we were talking about earlier with Christopher Reeves and the Donner cut and Linda Carter era, trying to force that with Marvel MCU 2.0 together. I think that's when he put that comment. And right here, Ray or Rye, Ray, Ezra and Ben are loyal to Zack. They should drop out unless we get Justice League 2. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
and honestly, like, if you really think about it, like, I wouldn't be surprised with how loyal Jason is to Zack. I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped out of Aquaman 2.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
that's really, something to think about.
Like,
that's really something to think about.
Yeah, because it's like everyone that you really think about it, when it comes to your main cast, are loyal to Zack, and it's like insane. Like, I'm calling it right now. If Anna is serious about not like if the Snyderverse doesn't continue, I think WB just straight up killed the DCEU.
And that's what they've been trying to do for the longest time, which is fucking stupid to me because what you do for a living to make money, right?
Yep.
Every property Zack's ever touched in the DCEU makes money, right?
Yep,
And this
especially in
shit
the
is going to make them a lot of money. They finally have a movie that is almost on par with the Infinity War and Endgame saga. I mean,
yep.
it's it's not quite there, but I would argue it is. But that's just, I know I have a slightly biased opinion because I just really love Zack Snyder films, and I really love the DCEU.
I will definitely say this. It definitely is better than Avengers 1 and the Age of Ultron to me.
Yes, it's definitely better than Avengers 1 and Avengers 2, hands down. In either way, it doesn't matter. That's not the point, though, okay? I like them films, too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's just, they finally have something to be proud of. Their main IPs are finally the GOATs that they have always meant to be. And Zack Snyder did that for them.
Yeah.
That puts so much stock back into their merchandise for this movie, into even the shit with Justice League. It's still, for the most part, these characters, though, like the toys and the merch, is still very much Zack shit still, though. So like this has put so much revenue, money, and like profit back into these characters now. I don't understand how they don't get what this means. I don't think they understand what the long-lasting ramifications of this huge win really means for their company as a whole, and they don't even fucking deserve it, man. They really don't.
Yeah, they really don't. They really don't.
Hugh Jazz, you guys should check out SYL Abdul's take on this. By the way, I just came in, and what's so, I don't know what the last of it said.
Yeah.
Let's see where we at. Right here. On the day Jason Kilar announced. Oh, by the way, Hugh, I'll get it. I'll check out that Abdul's take on that here in a little bit, if possible. The movie radar. On the day Jason Kilar announces Zack Snyder's Justice League 2, we will celebrate by dumping a bucket of wet shit all over those who tried to fuck over the Snyderverse. In the DCEU, T-Plan will be the one who dumps the bucket. And I'm down with that. Careful, though, that might be considered toxic. Okay?
But yeah, but yeah, I actually do remember seeing people burning the Justice League CDs when Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced.
Yeah.
But in a way, like really, can you really think of that as kind of toxic in a way? Because in a way, like, people have kind of disowned in Justice League, like, majority of the film world has disowned Justice League, and to now say that Zack Snyder is just like, that's also the crazy thing. People have said that ever since Zack Snyder's Justice League has come out, like, even the naysayers, they say that to them, like, that's the canon version of Justice League to them. Like really, that's the crazy part about it. Like really, like, that's the thing. People are saying that they want a Justice League sequel. Like, how can you say no to something that people want more of?
$1 million question of the day.
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine, Jeffrey. But anyway, all right, guys, we're at the hour mark, and I got to get up early for work tomorrow, so we're gonna wrap this up, and I will be seeing you guys soon. And me and Jeffrey, we gotta get together and do something. I want to do something in honor of Zack Snyder's Justice League, man. I don't know, some kind of reaction or a review together. I don't know, something, man.
Yeah, something.
But all right, thank you guys for tuning in. Strong Arm Flix. Thank you for coming to see me and Jeffrey Warfield, and we will see you guys all again in the future real soon.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.